Terry McClymont with REAPS, Recycling Environmental Action Planning Society, and I'm also the Education Coordinator for DFO's Stream to Sea program.
And I'm Clive Keane, Prince George Naturalist Club, and also spearheading with Anne Hogan the Hudson's Bay wetland project.
So you're at the confluence of the Nechako and the Fraser River. So this area has gone under a number of flooding over the last few decades, and so the city has tried to increase the riparian area in this way and tried to rehabilitate some of the aquatic life. What they've done is they've tried to put some rocks in here to stop the erosion. So we decrease the sedimentation that's flowing into the river, because we do have Nechako sturgeon. We also have salmon that use the Fraser and the Nechakos as a spawning route. And so providing some estuaries and some side channels here allow the fingerlings to come in and to rest and to stock up and to feed. The other thing here that Guy was really wanting to enforce is we need to have more shade here, and we need to have more vegetation to prevent any polluted runoff and to try to get rid of the compacted soil here and to provide more nurseries for the aquatic insects, which will in turn feed the other species that thrive on here, whether it is land animals or aquatic animals, right? And also to increase bird habitat. This is a great footpath and also a biking trail, so it would be a great area to increase visibility and community support and enhancing the area just by providing some restoration here.
Yeah. So where is it that you're going to plant trees?
So what we'd want to do is plant some trees into this rocky basement.
Oh, okay.
Maybe plant some trees up on here, so that way we can have some more shade coming down. The cottonwoods, a lot of them have fallen down throughout the years, but what we want to do is try to bring some more aquatic species up the bank here to perform more of a natural rooting mechanism to prevent erosion, and try to bring more encroachment, what we see in the riverbank, to this side.
Right.
So is the area that you want to restore, is it just basically what we can see right here?
It's basically what we can see. This is the whole area here, following along. What we really want is to get more shade in here to help stabilize the temperatures of the stream, right? The fingerlings, and if the salmon do happen to lay their nests here, it's really dependent upon stream. Oh yeah. Killdeer, yeah. It's really dependent on stream temperatures, right?
Right.
And also preventing erosion from covering up the redds.
Right.
And also providing a beneficial area for when they do hatch, that there's insects there for food.
Right, right. Well, just in the 10 minutes we've been standing here, look at all the different species we've seen. That's remarkable.
And also in the fall, we'll start seeing more people meandering over and checking out the wildlife and just traveling by foot across the sand dunes here. So this is also another area where we release our Chinook salmon, which is part of the Stream to Sea program, raising salmon in the classrooms. So the students come down here and they participate with an hour and a half of activities, and one is releasing the fry, and the other hour is spent on looking at the habitat, providing information and feedback as to why this is a good location for the salmon to be released, and what are the requirements of the salmon, and following the stream to sea.
Do you see this as an opportunity for interpretive signage?
Definitely. That was one of the big things that we wanted to do, was have some signage there. Without the signage, it doesn't bring awareness to the site and what the purpose of riparian zones are, and who benefits from it.
The first thing we want to do is to get people to really love and appreciate this entire thing. That it's a lovely, as you go around, you can see that it's terrific habitats. We've got all sorts of interesting things happen, but it's been undeveloped. And what we don't have at the moment is a circular walk taking us around the whole thing. So to get people to really care about this, first of all, we're going to make sure that people come down and see what they've got. Okay, so at the moment there's just a walk heading through here, but we're going to be putting in a circular walk with a whole bunch of observation features, so people can get down and see the animals. They can see the birds, they can see the muskrat and the beaver and all the rest of it. Put towers in, overlooks, observation blinds, a whole bunch of things to turn this into a proper circular walk. In terms of an interpretive area, we've got this wonderful agreement with Exploration Place. They're our key partners on this, and they have groups of kids coming through all the time, and they're going to be using this as their well, the proper environment, outdoor environment. When I was a kid, I spent a lot of time simply wandering around in spots like this on my own. Don't do that anymore. You know, parents want to know where their kids are. They don't let people just wander for 12 hours a day, which is what some of us did when we were kids. So, okay, we can still do it, but we can do it in a more structured way. There's going to be some sort of supervision. People will watch what's going on. We're not going to have people getting drowned, but they're going to be getting down there, getting muddy, looking at the toads, looking at the spawn. A whole bunch of things going on down there. I can see interpretation like crazy in this whole thing. Now, we're probably just going to see the first section here. This is the section that joins into the Fraser River. We've then got this whole lake area with the bulrushes. That's a more exciting spot in some respects. There's going to be all sorts of boardwalks coming in through here. It's a bit of a more mysterious environment.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time we finish this, there's going to be so many different habitats to go through that you'll be able to see so many different things. There's interpretive trails. This is marvelous.
Wonderful. And so is the project that you want to ask support for HCTF from, it's part of this bigger picture?
That's right. There's so many things to be done in this.
Yes.
There's many elements of this. The first thing we're going to do is simply make sure that it's loved and cherished. Because once you've got that, if it's loved enough, then the future is secure.
Yeah.
People aren't going to use it as a dump. There's no problem then about making sure that the toxic waste, for instance, good God, they used to put all sorts of snow dumps up there. That's not going to happen anymore because people will love this spot. So that comes first. Make it available, make it accessible, and then we've got all sorts of interesting plans on how we improve it for the flora and the fauna. And there's many things that we can do to improve it. But first of all, get it accessible.
Right.
Get that interpretive trail going.
And how long will that trail be when it's done?
That's going to be 2.4 kilometers in total, and we can see all sorts of people walking around this. So there's going to be a dog walk, there's going to be a runner spot for naturalists. The new bridge we're going to be putting there, I bet you get wedding photographers down there. Yeah, because it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Well, if it's anything like what I'm seeing right here, I mean, it's
and it's very...
Like, who knew coming into Prince George, like when you drive into Prince George, like some of these spots, it's like, look at this park, you've got, Fort George Park and this whole area that you're doing here, and right on the confluence and right on the Fraser and then Jacko, it's just...
And this is right in the middle, centre of town. So we go through some neighbourhoods here. Man, we're going to transform the lives of kids in these neighbourhoods. It is a fantastic discovery. We can only go out and look at wildlife with the permission of the birds. Because if the birds don't like you, they will make noises. The other birds will hear, the other animals will hear. You won't see anything. They'll all escarped by the time you get there. If you can go through with the birds' permission, you can watch the fawn. You can see the beasties of all kinds. It's terrific.
That makes a lot of sense.
What we're standing in here is the McMillan Creek Watershed. It runs from the north all the way down to the Nechako River. It's a spawning ground for Chinook salmon, and we've recently had to stop some flow into the McMillan Creek because there's been some pollutant factors, and so we've been monitoring this site for the last 2 months. We've had some kill of Chinook salmon because of leachate and pollution that is being run into the creek itself. So what we'd like to see here, once again, we need some more shade in this area, and we need some more riparian plants to encompass better stream habitat for aquatic insects, and also to provide shade for the Chinook salmon as they make their way to the Nechako River. There's also some pylons here and some old creosote logs from a bridge path that needs to be removed. There's some rebar and some cement that needs to be removed as well, just to give it a better flow for the invertebrates and for the salmon.
These are the pilings up here?
Yes, there are. There's 3 there left over from the bridge.
Right.
There's also the cement with the rebar that needs to be removed. This also is part of the salmon fishing grounds for the Nechako River. So we do have a lot of anglers that come down here and do fly fishing, and also do casting their lines on the Nechako here. We also have some sturgeon. So what we'd like to do is just to make sure that this water that's flowing from the north of the McMillan Creek watershed is clean, right? And then what goes into the Nechako doesn't pollute it any further.
So where do you want the trees?
So what we want is the trees on these banks here. We see the city did put a couple of trees in here,
Yeah.
but once again, they weren't mature trees, so we
Yeah.
need to have some mature trees in there that are at least 30 to 40 feet tall to give some more shade and stability to the banks and prevent some erosion happening. We do have a major thoroughfare for the pulp mills here as well, so we want to try to prevent the water sloughing off the bridges and eroding these banks further by having more stability there with the vegetation. Just to give it more habitat for the aquatic insects and the birds and that all enjoy this area as well.
And do you plan to put trees over here?
Yes, on
too?
this side. Both sides of the stream here that we'd like to have some trees.
So what's involved in doing that? Do you have to like bring in soil?
We have to bring in soil, we have to remove the rocks,
Oh,
we
you
have
remove
to
the rocks, wow.
just move them around so we can get the roots locked into the ground with
Yeah.
some good quality soil on top of there, and then planting some aquatic plants in between the rocks so it will take over.
Right.
Here is where I have a program that the kids come down and they do water testing. So we're looking at the nitrate, the oxygen, the pH, the coralliforms, and they're testing the flow of the stream as well.
Right.
So there's a whole program that involves children within McMillan Creek, and there's a coloring book, and it gets them to know about their watershed and what impacts affect the watershed. So from washing your cars to changing your oil on the driveway, to biking or walking or transportation. So the kids get to learn about a watershed and how they partake in a watershed.
Wonderful. Well, it would be wonderful to see some big tall trees growing up on either side here, and just to have it feel much more natural. I can see how that would
Yeah.
be a huge benefit.
The salmon circle from the sea to the sea, up the rivers of life. Endlessly, they always return to the place they began. For 1,000,000 years, they swam and swam and swam. From the rocks in the pool, in the river below, salmon turning and turning, oh so slow. They have been there forever in their favorite dance. Round and round they go. It's a wild romance. The salmon circle from the sea to the sea, up the rivers of life. Endlessly, they always return to the place they began. For 1,000,000 years, they swam and swam and swam. To the long, slow rhythm of a 4-year cycle, to the pounding beat of oceans that are like us. Drums that sound clear across the foam, they are calling their children home. The salmon circle from the sea to the sea, up the rivers of life. Endlessly, they always return to the place they began. For 1,000,000 years, they swam and swam and swam. Redbacks moving in the stream, humpbacks dancing in a dream. Nose to tail, they circle round and round. Go back to the spawning ground. By the great flowing waters, they return to the source, lay down their eggs, feel the life force. Resting safe in the gravel, pass the winter through, while these great fish are dying in the spring life renewed. The salmon circle from the sea to the sea, up the rivers of life. Endlessly, they always return to the place they began. For 1,000,000 years, they swam and swam and swam.
They swam and swam and swam. They swam and swam and swam.
Thank you. Wild salmon forever.